Remember, the day of May 1st, a streamer was scratching, ready to burst. On that day, on the May 1st of 2016, a incident happened to a certain streamer that we love to talk about. You know, a man that we love so much, even though people claim, like myself, claim to hate him. Even though we get great enjoyment out of this man, but also we can criticize something, because that's normal. But today was not a good day for his fellow members in his chat on full alert, because Phil knew exactly what today was. And not only that, but he decided to ban the battle stations for anyone to come in talking about May 1st immediately gets sent to the ban world. But for some reason, he started to talk about ReviewTechUSA, and oh boy.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about, but before we get to that, I just want to apologize in advance, alright? So, I got some personal stuff going on behind the scenes. It is health related, and it's bothering me. And it sucks. It's not something that I'm willing to talk about, publicly. But there is stuff going on right now that's very annoying, a little scary. And because of that, it's kind of getting to me. And this morning I woke up and I was all stressed out all around the house. My wife went to work early. And I'm like, man, I'm like shaking my head and I'm like, man, I hate this shit.
Well, I'm going to say this. One, if what he is saying is true, I do apologize that you're dealing with health issues. Having those suck. I know full well how those feel. But on the other hand, you kind of pulled the same shit before by saying that you had certain stress issues and you tried to use that as monetary gain. So that's why, on one hand, I feel bad for you, but on the other, I kind of don't. It's kind of like two sides of the coin here. Same issues, but it's like, should I feel sorry for you, or are you lying just to make profit off of it? It's kind of confusing, really.
I hate having stuff on my mind that stays in the back of my head and won't go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going to talk about depression, because it doesn't help you elaborate things clearly, and that it's all in your depression.
It's one thing if there's a little minor annoyance and you're like, well, you could brush it off, but today, I basically what I'm going to do today is try to take my mind off of reality by enjoying games with you guys on the stream.
Well, at least you have an escape from reality with it, but the problem is you don't have passion for video games as you used to. As soon as you brought in interactive streaming, it went downhill fast.
Okay, I think that's the best way to go about it, because not everything in my life is going to be 100% transparent or something that I'm going to share with you. But there is stuff going on behind the scenes you guys don't know about. Lots of stuff you guys actually don't know about. And that's for good reason. As you know, with the crazy stalkerish people.
Here's the thing with that, though, Phil. Whenever you kept saying, oh, I have personal issues that I don't want to talk about, you end up talking about it anyway. And you want to say, oh, I don't mention it because it's my detractor's fault. Phil, it's all your fault. Whenever you mention anything, doesn't even matter if it's like health-related issues, car breaking down, a dishwasher breaking down, all that shit. It does not matter. You put your information out on the internet for everyone to see, because you are a public figure. You don't realize it yet, but since you have a big following on the internet for very notorious reasons, you seem to think that, oh, I should actually not reveal things. But then again, I'm just thinking, no shit, Sherlock. That's the one thing that you never do unless you're comfortable telling people.
On the internet that harass me all the time.
Yeah, you harass people all the time too, but yet if you do it, I'm a victim.
I need to keep that separation of private and public life. I need to have that private life. I don't have enough people bullying and harassing and constantly trying to attack me for absolutely no good reason.
Well, there's plenty of reasons why you're being, in quotes, harassed. But on the other hand, you kind of don't differentiate the private and public life with the internet. Instead, you just bring it up in your day off segment on your podcast. You seem to think that, oh, I can hide off my private life, But you keep saying that you go out to the store, you buy things for your cat, you eat out all the time. That's exposing your personal life in a way. But good Lord, you seem to think that, oh, you should be exempt from it and we should stop harassing you even though we're doing no such thing.
The more I share, the worse it gets. So,
well, you share a little bit too much information. I hate going back to this, but the Side Scrollers podcast, when you were in that interview, you kept saying things about your wife that no one needed to fucking know about, but then you go back to your podcast, your channel, and you're like, don't talk about my fucking wife. Oh, by the way, did you hear what my wife did? She has a restraining order against her ex-boyfriend. Phil, nobody knew about that until you said anything.
Please understand today, I'm trying.
Also, I can't help the post-nasal drip. Yep, again, interview, you turn that off immediately. Like I said, is this real or you're just being a disgusting prick on purpose?
Trying to do my best to keep my mind off of nonsensical stuff. But I'm just going to forewarn you guys ahead of time that, today I might be stressed out. I apologize in advance if I lash out or seem upset or seem Jasper. Don't bite that wire. Now is not a...
If I seem upset, I'm sorry. Jasper Kitty, stop it. But no, Phil, you're doing these apologies just so that you can get away with saying this. Phil, that's not how it would work. If you lash out at somebody, you apologize after it, but you're trying to be the big man or I'm trying to think of the right word for this. You're trying to be polite and courteous to your audience about it, but we already know you're toxic, so that kind of means nothing.
Good time. Jasper Kitty.
Don't make me get the water bottle.
Don't do it. He has to distract me with that when I'm trying to tell you guys something serious, right?
Well, pussy's got a pussy around sometime.
But yeah, basically, that's the situation, and I know that sometimes, I'll be honest, I'm a human. Wow, you didn't know that, did you? You thought I was an alien. I'm a human, and these times, things tend to sometimes come through on a stream. People will say, wow, Phil seems on edge today, or Phil seems really agitated today, or, that's why. It's not because of anything going on the stream. It's not because of you guys or anything like that. It's just life. It's stuff behind the scenes that is getting to me and bothering me, and it sucks.
I'm going to tell you a few things. Number one, we already know you're human, but you say a lot of weird shit that people don't normally say. Like you saying that you have an intelligent brain. It's like, what the fuck do you say? What does that even mean? A lot of shit that you say and try to paraphrase make no sense. That's the reason why people say that you're an alien, and it's a joke. Also, this kind of shows that you shouldn't be streaming anymore, because if you're lashing out at people because of shit that's going on in the background, you don't really know how to put on a mask and just pretend that those things aren't real. That's the one thing that most entertainers do. Comedians do that all the time. They have to pretend that life is good right now. I'm helping out people. I'm making them laugh, so I'm happy. When in reality, they might not have a happy life. It just shows that you can't handle it anymore. Oh, I have thick skin, but yet it's thin like a piece of paper.
Can't even talk, I can't even talk about it, so.
I can't talk about it. Detractors will ruin it.
Please bear with me. I hope you'll be a little bit more patient with me today, all right?
Well, Phil, we're always patient with you. Until he starts snorting. A lot of people lose their patience with that, but I've learned to tune it out. Sadly.
It's funny that some people just think life is all fucking fun and games, right? They take nothing seriously. They just, they think everything's a joke. They think that everything is funny. Oh, just make fun of everyone constantly, bully everyone constantly. And you have to understand that these things get to people, and then they affect them in a very negative way.
That's the problem with that, Phil. You seem to think that, I'm being negatively affected. Phil, the reason why it's affecting you in a way, because you don't know how to joke about yourself. You don't know how to poke fun at your own goddamn self. Instead, when everyone else is making fun of you, in quotes, and poking little jabs at you, you don't know to laugh at yourself. If Adam, funny enough, Side Scrollers Podcast, yet again, says that you need to take a box of tissues and put it in the background, he's telling you to own up to it because you did it. Yes, what happened on May 1st, it's embarrassing for you. I get it, and it made people laugh. It made people shocked at you. But you need to learn to laugh at yourself. Yeah, it's an embarrassing moment. Oh, remember that time I was quote-unquote scratching my leg? You could have done that. Hell, what you could have done, which would have been even more hilarious. You reenact the scene, and then all of a sudden, you just holding up and you're cleaning a carrot or something and be like, oh, hey, welcome to the Level 1 podcast. You could have done that, but you're too much of a man to think that, oh, I shouldn't stoop to this immature level. When in reality, when you make shit jokes, you're already on that level.
But some people don't want to even think about that or take any kind of responsibility for anything they've ever done. Instead, I'll just continue on as long as everything's funny and happy for us and benefits us, right? But, that's, what can I say? That there's some people who have ethics and a moral compass, and there's some people who just go through life brain dead fucking stupid, drooling at the mouth and just fucking like a bull through a china shop, wrecking everything around them. They don't give a shit as long as they're okay.
Phil, there are times where people can actually be immature. We're all entitled to be immature when we want to, but as long as we know when to turn that shit off, everything's good. But the problem is that you seem to think that, oh, once they're always immature, that's their mentality, that they're always going to be immature. They're going to a serious event and they let a big old fart. They think that's funny. Phil, they know when to turn it off. And I know who you're talking about here, and he knows when to turn that shit off too. But you just want to poke at the hornet's nest so fucking much. It's not even funny.
And, it sucks. It sucks that that's the reality of human existence, but that's what I've basically been experiencing for the past 10 years, is that everyone on the internet essentially just doesn't care what they say or do towards me as long as it fucking gets them over, right?
Phil, the reason why I kind of care about what I have to say about you, sure, I'm poking fun at you at your own expense, but at the same time, I'm trying to give you some advice here that can actually help you in the long run. But the problem with you is that you seem to think that people like myself are just negative people that don't know what we're talking about and that we live pathetic little lives, when in reality, all you're doing is projecting onto other people with your own patheticness.
And I got to put up with it, and I got to put up with the repercussions of it. And it does suck, but that's my life, and I've kind of had to accept it. You guys motivate me to push through tough times with your positivity. And the messages you guys send me about how you love the content I put out, the true core audience that's here to enjoy what I love doing, the passion that I have, and the guys you recognize the passion that I have. And I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, but your tone of voice doesn't show any sign of gratitude or appreciation. Instead, you just want to be like, oh yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for liking my content, I guess. When in reality, when you're trying to say that you're positive, they're giving you positive emotion, you're just throwing back negativity at them, being toxic. That's not a good way to live, Phil. And every time they give you money, that's your form of positive contributions to your channel. That's all that is. But you just want to keep deluding yourself. That's the biggest problem with you. Also, we are negative people, yet look in the mirror, you muppet.
Being here and always being that positive influence on my life. So thank you for that. Those of you who are here for that. Because, this will be a day when there's a bunch of fucking moronic jackasses who now, because I've said this, they're going to make a concerted effort to be nasty to me.
Phil, what I try to do is try to help you. Yeah, I can poke fun at you, but that's the name of the fucking game, Phil. Is that we can poke fun at you, and it's all like a good laugh or two. But at the end of all this, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you, valid critical advice here, but you're I can't hear you because you're negative, a band. And also, your fans, and you seem to think that I go after your fans. Phil, I don't care about your fans. They can like you. They can hate you. They can give you money. It does not matter. That's up to them, not me and not you.
You know what I mean? And I just don't need it. Right now, I'm already, at my wit's end with stress, with stuff behind the scenes, and I can't put up with this bullshit. So I have no tolerance for it. I tell you guys right now, maybe on another day, I'd be more jokingly taking stuff. Today is not that day.
You never took a joke in your goddamn life. At all. When people are joking about you, you got pissed off at them. The very next week, you started making the jokes and people looked at you confused. When May 1st happened, that's exactly what happened. Then you tried to make a meme out of it, and the charm ran out because nobody gave a shit about the fat Phil anymore. But at the same time, I think you could benefit from gummies. I'm just saying, Phil, because if you're saying you're stressed out so much, just eat a gummy and relax somewhere.
The stuff that's going on in my life. So people come in here and they want to be nasty. You're not going to ever see them again. So say wave goodbye to all your idiotic friends who want to come by and be really. Today's the day to bully Phil. No, it's not. No, today's the day to get your ass banned and never come back. And I will not care. I will not give two shits.
Well, here you go. Here's true colors. He doesn't care about the detractors. Oh, even the ones that I tried to help. He doesn't care. He never gave a shit about them. He tried to help them, supposedly, but we all know he's just full of shit. We all know that he never cared because it doesn't benefit him. And I'm noticing as soon as he starts talking about this drama, more and more people kept showing the fuck up. It's sad that drama or anything related to his form of drama is a way for him to get views. For someone that claims that he doesn't care about drama and views, he sure loves to talk about it a lot.
I dare you to try to email me to get unbanned if you do it today. Okay?
And if you are just, along for the ride, even though you're a fan of Phil's and he bans you, he will never unban you unless you give him $50 or so.
So, all that being said, let's get this out of the way. I just wanted to get that out of the way so we can get back to more interesting stuff that you guys probably care about. So let's get to it.
Oh, God. Oh, no. What happened? Come on, Aquadeal. Bring us to this epic saga.
It looks like a $1.50 tip came in. Felix DeMain says, I hope you will feel better for what's going on behind the scenes. Sad to hear when someone isn't feeling good, brings the mood down. Hope you can have a speedy recovery. Thank you. I appreciate that sentiment. That's nice of you. By the way, there's a bigger tipper coming up, which is why I'm not going to put your name on the leaderboard immediately, because there's another person coming up who's going to be the top tipper.
Wow. Not even that. A very insincere thank you, and be like, oh, by the way, I'm not putting you on this fucking leaderboard because, someone else is coming in. They're giving me more money than you. Really, dipshit.
But basically, yeah, I appreciate that. I said it at the beginning of the podcast today that behind the scenes, there's some personal stuff going on right now. That's really bothering me, and I'm not having a good day. I already started off today in a really bad, messed up mood, and it's probably not going to get any better over the course of the day. I'm trying to get my mind off that crap by being here on stream with you guys, and today's is not the day for people to be nasty, yet because of the actions of some very small-minded, simpleton-like, uncaring individuals on the internet who only care about themselves, I now have to put up with online harassment and bullying all day long for no good fucking reason.
Wow, Phil. So you need to learn that if you're treating this like a business and you're treating it like this work, leave all your personal stress and leave all your personal woes at the door. Nobody cares about that. Come into work and get started and leave all your personal shit away while you work. But you seem to think that, oh no, I have to deal with this, and people that don't give a shit, these nasty people are going to ruin it like they ruin my life every day. Phil, have you ever looked in the mirror and decided to think why they're doing it? It's because of the shit that you say. Shit like this is the reason why. Your toxicity is showing, and you're deluding yourself to believing that you're just a victim every single time. You play the victim, you have this loser mentality, you need to drop it and let that go. But you won't, and that's the sad thing.
So, I'm going to continue to just push forward positively and try to have a good day with you guys. And like I said at the beginning of this podcast, today's not the day to fucking mess with me. You're going to come here and troll, you're going to be gone for good, and you're never coming back.
I think this is like the 4th time he just repeated himself with this. He loves to do that quite a lot.
And there's no excuses, and don't email me to get unbanned. You're never coming back. I'm just have no tolerance for it today. Like I said, maybe on a different day, if I was in a better mood, if things were going better for me and it wasn't so bad right now, then I'd be more tolerant of it. Today's not the day for that, and I've already laid down the law, and already we probably had about 40 people banned because they're fucking morons, and they don't listen. They listen to of all the people to listen to take a particular kind of person and make that the person that that's your idol. That's the person you really, you spend time with and you trust. And I mean, you got to be a fucking idiot. You got to be a mouth drooler. So, we don't really need those kind of people around here anyway. And, you're going to be toxic scumbags bullying people. You're not going to be around.
Jesus fucking Christ, Phil. You are just like on edge at this point. Gummies, I think gummies are way out of your forte. What you just need is a good old dab. That's all you need right now. To go back to this whole thing about, oh, they're listening to certain people and they're mouth droolers. Like, Phil, what makes you think that we're all just brain dead mouth droolers? What makes you really believe that? You follow these fucking people that are mean to me all the time. Wait, I'm a victim. Stop. Also, another dent asked him to own the meme. DSP uses it. Oh, why? I mean, I'll give his dent some credit, though. There are some of them that are fucking brutal, and I love those. It's the other ones that fall under his pignosis that I can't stand.
So someone says, I thought you were owning the meme. What's happened? There's a difference between owning a meme and then wanting to move on from it, and then someone who actually acts like a 5-year-old in a schoolyard. And I've already made it abundantly clear why I've completely moved on from anything in that time of my life. That was 7 years ago. It was a time when I was very depressed. I mean, I tried to tell you guys and be honest and open up about it in the last year. That was a time of my life I was very depressed.
Well, there we go. He's bringing up depression. And he actually admitted that. He's like, oh, that was my depression. That's why I did all this. And Phil, no. Back when this happened, you didn't own the meme. The only reason why you, quote-unquote, owned it was because people would not shut the fuck up about it. And once you owned it, people stopped caring. And then you decided to move on. But later on, you'll make a story about how you owned that meme and that you're moving on when this is still affecting you. May 1st is stuck in your head. It is like your own personal 9/11. That it's going to come back and it's going to haunt you for the rest of your fucking life. Come on, Phil. Learn to let it go. Own it. If fucking Adam could tell you to own it, listen to him. Because it will help you one day. Also, I see a lot of people saying, hee hee.
My whole personal life was falling apart.
Also, no. What has he said that was well said?
It seems. Like, my life here was awful. I was essentially living like a life separate from the person I was living with at the time. We weren't even in any kind of a real relationship. It was very stressful. It was very awful. I was messed up. I was drinking heavily. I was essentially at a time in my life I don't want to think about, which is why, that happened to begin with. It's very fucked up and depressing.
Phil, that's on you. You had a girlfriend that was willing to give herself to you, and you completely ignore it. There are vlogs out there where she's like in position and ready to go, but you're like, let's to the room. Why are you doing that? That makes no sense. And she just gives up. Phil, it's you that did that, not her. I know who you're talking about here, but it's not her fault. It is your fault. And yet, I drunk myself into depression. It's like, that's, again, your fault. You can overcome it. But someone who claims to be a former alcoholic sure loves to talk about alcohol way too much.
And I've already explained this in detail many times on the internet. But there's people who think that shit's funny. Phil was depressed and was fucked up in the head and was feeling awful about his life and himself and did something really fucking stupid and embarrassing because of it. Let's just bring it up forever. It's like, no. That's what you do if you're like a 5-year-old on a schoolyard at fucking elementary school.
Phil, when you said that you had depression, I felt bad for you. That was the first time that you did it. Second time you brought up depression, I'm like, okay, I get it. You have depression. But you kept bringing that shit up over and over and over and over and over again. People with depression don't say that they have depression. The only reason why they can say it is if someone keeps pointing it out to them and they have to fully admit that they're having a problem and it's all in their head and it's depression talking. That's the only time where they'll actually fully admit that they have depression. But you don't. You use this as a way for people to feel sorry for you. Try to get your tip money that way. It's very scummy, Phil. Quit bringing up your depression.
You're right, you bully someone, you pick on them for something, It's horrible. It's like a fucking mentally distressing time of my fucking life that I don't want to think about again.
Phil, it happened one time. It was an embarrassing moment. Move the fuck on. Own the meme. Own that you did this. Move on.
You know, I don't want to think about it. My wife hates when people bring it up
Because she cries every time she sees that face, apparently?
I'm past that. I'm a better person. I'm in a better place in my life now. And the fact that there's people that can't get by that, just think about it this way.
Phil, you do not have a better life. Your life is not happy because you get on stream every fucking day and beg for money every single time, even though you're making thousands upon thousands of dollars every single month. And you still need more. And yet your life is so miserable that you have to delude yourself into thinking, my life is better. All the people talking shit about me, oh, they're not better. They're just basement dwellers. They don't have anything good in their life. When I have something good in my life, you think it's shit. When you have something good in your life, you expect everyone to be like, congratulations, Phil. You're lying to yourself. Like always.
All right. I started making regular content on the internet, on YouTube, probably around the spring of 2009. I mean, I sporadically was making videos like fall of 2008. Around spring of 2009, I started making very serious, like tons of consistent content.
Yeah, you were making content, but it wasn't consistent. I'll give them that. At least it was. But it was rushed. It was rushed content so you can make money off of it. And then you lost your AdSense with that channel. Then you made another one in 2010. See, we know your history, Phil. You don't.
All right? All the way through now. Like, I never stopped. Now, if you do the math, spring of 2009 through, you know what they're talking about, the incident of 2016.
I'm sorry. Anytime he says the incident, it just makes me laugh. I'm sorry. It does.
It's about 7 years. Okay?
Yeah, so you're correct. It is 7 years, and it's also 7 years today. On May 1st, actually. So 7 and 7. Yay, lucky numbers.
If you do the math, the incident until now is 7 years.
I just said that, Phil. Thank you for pointing that out.
I have made just as much content in my time on YouTube after that stupid thing happened than before. You understand? I've grown, I've changed, I've made way more positive content and become a better person from who I was back then. I have completely moved past that part of my life. Why in the fuck would I want to keep reminding myself of how messed up and depressed and sad I was at that point in my life and how awful it was?
Phil, the reason why that will always be a part of you, it's because it's a life experience. It has happened to you. Yes, it was embarrassing, and it was a dark time of your life. Use that as a learning curve in your life to overcome obstacles, but you won't, because you get so butthurt and triggered by it that you will ban people that talk about it. You will shit on people that talk about it. I will say this, you jerked off on May 1st. Own up to that. When people say, where'd the load go? Own up to that shit. Make up a bullshit excuse. Do whatever it takes to drop the issue then. But you won't do that at all. It's really pathetic and sad that you had to do that. And also, oh, I made content for so many years. It's like, yeah, and I've gotten better. You hadn't gotten better. You're using that as a way to delude yourself to thinking that your shitty little life is better than everyone else's, when in reality, it's not.
Things are so much better now. Why would I want to think about it constantly? But the thing is, the people who talk about it don't care. They love my misery. The day that I don't feel good is a day that they feel good about themselves because they feel like they got something out of life because they made someone else feel bad and got away with it.
Phil, I don't give a shit if you feel bad or not. I don't really care if I'm making something and you feel bad about it. Misery is a fucking business. Everyone does it. You fucking do it. Someone died in your life. You would still make a profit off of it. Your friends betrayed you, so you're going to make a video series reacting to them in their misery with spending their time with you. You've done it. So don't sit there and be all high and fucking mighty while being the hypocrite that you really are.
That's the kind of people who do things like bring that up constantly. They're scumbags. They're really low people. They're the kind of people you want to avoid in life. They're the kind of people who you don't want to spend time with because they're toxic.
Really, Phil? I'm toxic. Nobody wants to spend time with me. Girlfriend that loves me, a job where I'm actually respected by my coworkers, and also my bosses respect me. I have friends and family that love me. Even though we don't see eye to eye on some things, they still respect my opinion and they still want to hang out with me. Yeah, I'm totally fucking toxic and nobody wants to spend time with me. Meanwhile, you're secluded in a shitty smelling office speaking to people on the internet like they're your friends. That is someone with a mental illness going around saying that, oh, they're my friends. They're not your friends. They're just an audience viewing you. You are the performer on the stage, and they're going to watch you fuck up one way or another. So, if you want to say that you have a better life, practice what you preach. Say that you have the better life. Go do the things that you want to do. Go exercise, touch grass, eat edibles or two. Maybe you might have a better perspective instead of the one that you're living in right now.
All right, that's the kind of people you want to fuck you. I'm going to build up a positive life over here and stay away from this toxic individual who literally only focuses on people's failures. Okay?
Hey, Phil, you want to know why I look at people's failures? It's a way to look at my own life and look at my own failures and compare. Is it better? Is my failure better than theirs or worse than theirs? That's not what I see when I see failure. I look at that and see, how do they overcome their failures? How do I overcome my failures? I want to know how they did it. You did not overcome your failures. You dwell on it like it's a fucking disease. And you will never get cured of it.
I'm done with that. So that's what I mean. Like, I'm just going to stay away from it. Yes. Do I own it? Of course I do.
No, you didn't. You did not own the meme. Someone told you that you did not own the meme. Instead, I'm trying to move past it, guys. So much for owning it.
Did it happen? Of course it did.
Yeah, of course it did. Then why are you triggered by it?
7 fucking years ago. I made more content after the fact than before. So how are you going to say to me that this is something representative of who I am today and something I need to even bring up or care? I don't care.
The reason why it's represented in your content is how you react to it, essentially. Because when you get risen out of it by people poking fun at you and bringing up May 1st, that is the reason why. They see your reaction and they get a good old jolly kick out of it. If you learn to take a better stance on it and actually react it differently, it would work out in your favor and people could leave you the fuck alone. But that's never going to happen.
I'm done with it. And all it is, it's very simple. It's bullying. When people do it, they feel better about themselves because there's something wrong with them. People who do this kind of online bullying actually have something wrong up here. Maybe they actually hate themselves in their own personal lives. Maybe they're jealous of something, Who knows? I'm not a fucking psychiatrist who's going to sit here and try to diagnose people, but there's something wrong with them.
I'm not going to diagnose people for their mental illnesses, but I know full well they have a mental illness. Phil, you're projecting your own insecurities onto other people, saying that I hate myself and because I'm miserable inside. Phil, everybody hates themselves. Everybody loves themselves. Once they learn to love themselves, they could get past their own self-hatred for themselves. Not the other way around. But you seem to think that, oh, they just hate themselves, so they're going to bully me. Phil, you bully other people all the goddamn time, and yet you will never own up to that mistake. You will never face those consequences because you'll hide behind them. Just like when you're trying to fight somebody and they were actually going to come and whoop your ass. You hid in the bathroom like the pussy that you are. For someone that talks a lot of shit, you're afraid of getting hit.
Someone who's going to do something like that. So it's that simple. I'm not going to waste my time on those kind of people. And in particular, because I know people want to bring up Rich, this is a guy who earlier this year, all right, one of his kids was very sick, and I got wind of this. Someone told me about it.
Yeah, someone told you about it, and yeah, you use that as a ploy to be like, okay, Rich, I heard your kid was sick. My condolences. Stop talking about me.
I actually looked into it, and it's true. One of his kids is very sick. I hope they're better, by the way, because I don't know.
No, you don't. You don't want them to get better, because if Rich is happy, you're not happy. And if you're happy and he's not, you're even more happy.
I felt real bad because I know that we had some bad blood, and I personally reached out to the guy behind the scenes, and I said, no bad blood is worth the stress of having a family member who's really ill. I've been there, and I wanted you to know that I hope that your daughter feels better, and I kind of want to squash whatever we have. In fact, would you like to have a conversation? Would you like to maybe come on my show and just talk? Have a candid conversation, just being real with each other and just being nice to each other rather than being at each other's throats and making fun of each other. And he basically said he would be interested in that, but he couldn't make it that day, and we were going to try to set it up. Okay? So that was a conversation I had with the man. And then literally, I'm not shitting you, within 24 hours of that conversation, he went on Twitter and he fucking shat all over me and insulted me publicly.
Yeah, so much for extending the olive branch, Phil. When in reality, Rich was doing the same thing with you. When you were asking for the interview, Rich gave you a proposal. He told you, hey, I would like to interview you. I will not allow donations. I will turn those off. I will just make it all about us. Comments will be going, but you don't have to answer them. And if we want to answer questions, we can do so. You denied it because Rich is fucking immature and he likes to talk shit about me. Stop talking about me, Rich. Oh, but you can do whatever you want, though. Paraphrasing, but it's exactly what happened. It was all stemmed because Rich watched detractor content, saw the WWE Champions thing, believed it, canceled the membership from your channel, and then you got mad because someone told you. And you hate him ever since. And as soon as that happened, he essentially declared war. He declared war, and he's driving his army of tanks and birds right over to your doorstep. God.
So what the fuck kind of person is that? Why the fuck would I waste my time with that guy? He's a scumbag. He literally took my goodwill. I want to be nice to you because I feel bad because you're having
beef reinstated.
Having a bad time in your life. I sympathize, empathize. I've been there. I just want us to not have beef. I don't want to have beef with anyone. Let's just be fucking cool with each other.
Yet you are very cool with starting beef with people, but then play victim afterwards.
And then he literally took that, said thanks, and he slammed it down on the ground, and he stomped it into paste, and he laughed at it, and he went and made fucking nasty tweets about me.
Phil, he took what you said into consideration. He was actually appreciative that you took time out of your way to make sure his daughter was feeling better, the get well wishes. But it's the fact of how you reacted on the interview. That's the reason why he shat on you. And then you got pissy and saying that he declared war on me, guys.
So Rich can go fuck himself. I want nothing to do with the guy ever again. He really, if you think that Rich is someone to be looked up to or even enjoy his content, you're a fucking idiot.
Huh, so I guess I'm an idiot because I actually don't mind his content at all. Rich is an entertaining guy, just like how you're entertaining, but for different fucking reasons. You're both lolcows, but Rich has accepted it. You have not. And how many times have you said fuck Rich and that you don't want anything to do with him again? How many times? Is this like the third or fourth time? Comments, help me out with this.
You need to look in the mirror at yourself and say, what the fuck's wrong with me?
Hey, Phil, do the same thing.
This guy is a piece of shit, and I'm following him and I like his stuff. Someone who's going to have an entire event based around bullying someone who doesn't care about him and wants nothing to do with him. All right? It's time to really have a self-assessment here of who you are and realize this is not the kind of person you want as part of your life.
Huh, I've already assessed my life plenty, and my life is pretty good right now. Also, look at the bottom. Apparently, more people are tuned in, and there are more and more likes coming in. So, imagine that. Drama is attracted to a toxic man. Huh.
All right? Really. And it's just pathetic because this is a guy who not only knows he has 1 million subs on YouTube and knows that people will actually follow the things he says and does, he's irresponsible with it.
There are some things that Rich has said that I don't agree with. There are times where he reacted to your content and took your side, which I disagreed with. Or that he said something that he disagreed with you, but I agreed with you on. So, we all can have our agreements and disagreements with fellow content creators. It does not matter. It's all good.
This is the kind of person I talk about all the time, where when you have a following on YouTube or anywhere, you need to be responsible with your following. Life is not all jokes for everyone. Life is not all fun and games and pranks and, oh, everyone should just laugh at everything. There's people who go through real life shit who don't need your shit. I outright told Rich earlier this year, I don't need your shit.
Well, before you continue with that, tell that to all the comedians that are making people laugh. They might have shit going on with them, but if they can make another person laugh at his own expense or her own expense, then everything is fine. Because the laughter and the applause is all they care about. What you're wanting is if they appreciate me so much, they should be throwing me Benjamins and make it rain on me, all eyes on me, essentially.
I got so much personal shit going on in my life, I don't need more stress from you. He doesn't care. he does it anyway because he personally gets laughs and benefits out of it. So he doesn't care who he hurts or stomps on. That's the kind of guy he is. But he'll portray himself like a nice guy to the internet when in reality, he's just another fucking scumbag like everybody else.
Hey, Phil, there are times where he actually gave a shit about you, that he actually cared. You were going through some shit, he actually felt sorry for you and showed sympathy, as well as empathy. Anytime he has sympathy, you see it as apathy, that he hates you for some weird reason. Yeah, he pokes fun at your expense. You do the same thing. So why be the hypocrite when it comes to poking fun at someone else's expense?
And the real sad fact about this all right, I'm sorry to say it, is that not only does he have fans, but he has kids.
You already knew he had kids. What's him having kids having to do with anything with his online persona? I really want to know that, Phil. People are saying that he's a deadbeat dad. How do you know? Have you stalked him and looked at his kids? Because if you have, disturbing. And you're saying that that's toxic. How you're portraying this, Phil, is very toxic. Quantum TV tried to do that same shit to Rich, and it didn't work out in his favor. Just look at what happened to him.
And now, later on in life, they're going to look back at his behavior on the internet, and they're going to think that that's okay, that it's okay to bully people, that it's okay to be nasty to people, because that's what Dad did. That's fucked up.
No, because he would teach someone that, hey, don't do this, don't do that. He teaches their kid. He can teach his kids however he wants to. He will not tell people to bully someone. However, if someone is being bullied, stand up for that person being bullied. He probably would tell him that. How do I know that he would do that? No, because I'm not him. I am not his kid. I do not know his parenting style. Because I'm not going to cast aspersions onto Rich for that. Like you're doing right now.
That's legitimately fucked up. Really? You think they're going to be insulated from this behavior for the rest of their lives? No, they're not going to be. They're going to know exactly what he's doing. They're going to get wind of it when they get older. And they're going to say, my dad used to bully people on the internet. What the fuck is this? He used to make money bullying people.
Way to cast stones onto glass houses, Phil. When I said that you used an assault rifle... Nah, you're using a fucking nuclear bomb.
I could never live with that. Really. I could never live with that with myself if that was me doing it.
Yes, you could. You always do it. When someone else is suffering, you sleep at bed at night, happy that that person is taken off the internet. You don't give a shit about people. As long as you're happy and benefiting off of people's misery, it's all good. But if it's your misery, it's shit, apparently. Fucking hypocrite.
I couldn't. So, it's pretty fucked up, man. And, I hope that he'll fucking wise up someday. But at this point, I don't think so. I think when you see someone that's that far gone, you can't... I gave this guy the benefit of the doubt so many times. I tried to extend the olive branch so many times to this man. And every time that I try, he stomps on it and he shits on me again right away.
Same with you. Rich has offered you plenty of olive branches, offered you many opportunities to make money for you, to help you, but yet you shit on him every single time. He's making fun of me. He's making fun of me. Rich, you need to shut the fuck up. Go take off your shirt for a dime. At least Rich actually has the common sense to know, hey, I can make money off of this. I can make money off of my own self-deprivation. But you don't. That's the problem. You don't know to make money off your own misery, because misery is a business, like I said.
For personal benefit. So at this point, I know things are never going to change. I know he will always be that kind of person, and I'm done with him. All right? So he can do whatever he wants, but any of his idiotic, mouth-drooling lackeys who come to my stream today to try to make me miserable, especially on today, I already told you guys, I've got a lot of fucked up stuff going on in my life right now. I don't need it. And the fact that he's got his people coming over here being fucking nasty to me just shows the kind of person he is. I'm done with this man.
How do you know that they're being toxic to you, Phil? How the fuck do you know? There are many people that come over from Rich that are subscribed and members of yours now. And they tell him all the shit that you do. It's vice versa. You seem to make a big fucking deal about it, while Rich is like, okay, and?
Nothing to do with him. In fact, after this moment, I don't ever want to bring him up ever again. I'm done with this.
Also, quit banging on your table.
Fucker. He's so insignificant to anything I care about on this planet. And by the way, this isn't new. This is a guy who's done this to me for like a decade. constantly talking about me in his fucking content and shit. It's like, shut the fuck up, you idiot. No one fucking should care about you. You're such a dunce. You're so insignificant to anything meaningful on this planet. You've helped no one. All you've done is fucking hurt people with your bullshit. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, Phil, why don't you say that to your own goddamn self? Because that's all it is. You're the dunce. You need to shut the fuck up. Your toxicity has hurt people. When every time you ban somebody because they had a question for you, to ban somebody when they didn't give you the right amount of money, you need to shut the fuck up, reevaluate your own goddamn life, and then try again. Please do that for us, please.
This is the kind of person who doesn't deserve a platform because they're just an online bully.
Wow. So him making fun at you deserves to have him removed from YouTube. Wow. Why not you? Why do you think that you deserve to be on YouTube? Please tell us. But you won't, though. You'll just delude yourself further. And also, go chew on your fucking water. God damn it, Aqua Teal. I wanted to make the chewing water joke.
So I'm done with it. And that's it. That's my last word on it. Rich, go fuck yourself. Leave me alone forever. I want nothing to do with you. You're a scumbag. You've proven it time and time again. I'm done with it. Okay.
I'm going to call it right now. He's going to talk about Rich sometime later in the year. Whenever that happens, I will bring it up again. It's interesting to see that one embarrassing event that happened 7 years ago still affect him to his present day living. Every time that someone brings it up, he gets offended and triggered by it, and that his wife automatically gets upset and cries about it, even though they should just get over that fact. It happened. Own up to it. Phil's problem is that he wants to put everyone else down for their own misery, but as well try to get them removed because they're making fun of me. They need to stop. Oh, they need to be removed from the platform forever. Phil, bullying will forever be a thing. You cannot stop bullying no matter how much you try. It will keep going. Like a constant vicious circle that goes around the interwebs, it will still be there. Just like how you will still be here, Phil. Making content that's so meaningful and so positive that people will have to check out and do more and more case studies on you. Just to see how someone so toxic and so malicious can stay on here without any consequence.